Okay, this is part 11, I think. Um, so, you know, I can't reach him by phone. This is part 11, I think, of Unbecoming First Lady, a title I never agreed to. Quick rundown. I met a guy online that was a pastor, but not a traditional one, but still one in every sense of the word. I just tried to break it off with him, and he manipulated me into thinking that I had broke him, that I had broken another good black man, that I was no better than a fucking Kardashian or a Jada Smith. Like, he was like, you broken another black man. So for me, that hurt. Like, I was like, oh my God, I never intended. So now he's not answering my phone calls because he has game on. And he's playing checkers. I'm playing spades. And so I just was like, you know what, I'm gonna put some gas in the car, I'm gonna go visit him, I'm gonna go see what, because, you know, when he was like, you broke me, you broke another man, you know, I told you that I didn't want to be rejected, I didn't want to be abandoned, I told you all of the things that I had been through with my ex, and here you are doing it again. So what do? I gas up the car and I go to see him. And you know, at the penthouse would have been trying to get into something, and I didn't want to go to his house because I didn't know the state of mind that he was in or what he would do. Mind you, I keep my protection with me in my possession, but with him, I never felt like I needed it. I never reached for it, I never grabbed it, I didn't feel like I needed it. But I went to his place of business, the business that he owned, and I called him from my daughter's phone, and I was like, "Pull up, you know, let's talk about it, because the last thing I wanted to do is hurt you." And he was like, "No, I'm not gonna do it. You know, you broke me, and whatever I decide to do, if I take my life, or if I'm no longer here, know that it's your fault." And I was like, "Oh my God. Oh my God. What if he, what, I mean, you know, what, which is, um, it is one of those, it's another, thing that came up when I was listening to the book, that, you know, when a guy says, if I can't have you, I don't want to live anymore. And that's all I could think about. Like, you know, well, what if he does something? Like, you know, would they blame me? Is it my fault? Like, you know, what has he told people that if something happens to him, you know, like, I didn't know, you know, I was really, really concerned. And he knew that I would be. And he knew that he had just moved his piece, and he was waiting to see what move I was going to make. So I drove. He didn't come. Matter of fact, he did come. He told me later that he did come, but he said outside, but he didn't tell his employee to tell me that he was there. He just said his employee walked out. Mind you, my kid is working at the restaurant and at his business, where he's officially making her very uncomfortable because he wants to discuss me. And there's not a kid in the world that's going to be comfortable with you talking to them about their mother. And so I was asking her, I said, please quit. Please find another job. I said, because when I cut him off, he is definitely going to take it out on you. So I didn't talk to him for a couple of days. And I did fall into like this depression, but it wasn't the depression of breaking up. It was the depression of like, when is he going to do it? Is he going to take some pills? Is he going to jump off the balcony? Like, what is he going to do? And is it going to be my fault? And will they try to charge me? And so I couldn't get out of bed for days. I got out of bed, but it was only to go to work. And I wasn't doing the things with my daughter. We weren't going to the market. We weren't having family time. I was just depressed. And it was the type of depression that it was like secondhand depression, because I was glad and relieved to finally have cut him off. But then here he has just strung me along with this idea that he may hurt himself. And so slowly over time, we started back talking, but it was never to the extent of starting over in a relationship. It was never to that extent, but it was I do want to see you. I want to come down. I want us to talk face to face. And I did for the longest, like put him off and say, no, that's not a good idea. Ended up going to a concert in his city to see Nas. And that's one of the things that I always joke about to me. I'm like, Nas is my hall pass. If Nas come through, you out the door. And he was like, you think you're good enough to get Nas? You think Nas gonna want you for more than just one night? Like, it would be those type of things. And so we met in the parking lot. He was moving. He moved out of the penthouse, which I feel like money started to dry up. And that's another thing. Throughout the relationship, I feel like he thought that he could bare minimum me and it would be okay. Because remember, he couldn't wait to spoil me. And I told him, a lot of guys say that till they realize what it takes. It would be like, I put 100% gas in my car. He was like, I'm not putting 100% in. That's cost too much. And I plug my car up, and it's electric. So I'm just going to put any kind of gas in your car, because I'm going to be the one that fix it if something breaks down. When something went wrong with it, he was like, I'll pay by credit card to the dealership. And I ended up hanging up, and I don't want to hear that shit. And so then a couple of days later, this was in like October, he was like, I thought about it, and I was like, maybe I should get her a whole new car. But what has she just done to deserve a new car? And I was like, you're right, I haven't done anything to deserve a new car, but there's nothing wrong with my car. I got the battery fixed. I got it fixed. It's fine. And you didn't help it out. I appreciate that. When I told him it was over, I mailed him his credit card back to him. The nicest letter possible. I was like, thanks for helping at a time where I needed help. Thanks for helping me and my relationship with my daughter, because that was one of the things that I can give him credit for, because he was like, man, you got to fix that. Go get her. Let's go on the spa day. I want to meet her. Y'all get y'all nails and toes done. I'm going to sit in the car. This is about y'all bonding and rekindling y'all relationship. So, when I ended it, I did. This is another thing. This is how he really manipulated me into making me think that I had broken him. He said, you ended things with me and went out to a party to celebrate. I sat in bed and cried myself to sleep. And I was like, wow. I did party, but it wasn't a party. It was a birthday party. It wasn't, like standing on couches and popping bottles or nothing like that. It was a small, intimate party that just so happened to be in a nightclub that was already planned. I had already had plans to go. I didn't know that I was going to break things off with him that day. It just happened like that. And so, that was like, oh my God, I made him cry. I made him upset. I made him sad to the point where, he feels like I didn't care about him. Like, he played that violin and he played it and he played me. And everything that I thought I knew went out the window. Like, I thought, I loved myself. I thought I had more love for me than for anybody. Like, it was really eye-opening to be going through this shit this late in my life.